Okay, what is up? WWE TLC just went off the air literally about 2 minutes ago. Good show. Better than Survivor Series for me. I know a lot of people liked Survivor Series. I personally didn't like it. You can see my review of that here on my channel. For me, Money in the Bank and TLC, are probably my two favorite gimmick pay-per-views. I'm not really a huge fan of Hell in the Cell anymore, just because I don't know, Hell in the Cell doesn't feel as special as TLC does, because TLC has other matches. Like, it has ladder matches, it has tables matches, it has chairs matches, which is weird, and then they have the TLC match, whereas with Hell in the Cell, it's just the Hell in the Cell match, and the rest of the pay-per-view is whatever. Anyway, I'm getting a little off course. Pre-show, just quickly blow through that. Buddy Murphy defeated Cedric Alexander to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. These two have great chemistry together, great match. Buddy Murphy's still great. And Elias beat Bobby Lashley in a ladder match to get the guitar that's hanging above the ring, but I don't know. The match was really convoluted because they've had like sledgehammer matches and stuff where it's like Kevin Nash versus Triple H. It was like, oh, it was a ladder match for the sledgehammer, but you still had to win by pinfall and stuff. So, yeah, Elias won that, but then got beat down by Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush. So then on the actual main card, the first match of the night was Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox versus Carmella and R-Truth in the mixed match challenge final. The winners would be the number 30 entrant in their respective Royal Rumbles, and they'd get an all expenses paid vacation or something. I don't know. I guess because they wanted to make the mixed match challenge canon to the rest of the WWE storylines, but this whole thing fell off the rails when certain guys got injured, like Braun got injured, and Finn got injured, and Jeff got injured. Like, all these guys getting injured just kind of made them ruin the Mixed Match Challenge. Anyway, R-Truth and Carmella won because, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I don't know, that just doesn't really fucking matter, I guess. It doesn't really fucking matter. Then it was the Usos versus the New Day versus the Bar for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Good match. The teams have great chemistry with each other. We already know the New Day and the Usos just have ridiculous chemistry. The Usos have had a couple of good matches with the Bar. All three of them together were very good. Maybe could have been better. There's a lot of matches on tonight's card that could have been a lot better than they were. Like, there are a lot of matches that should have been great that ended up just being passable, and this was one of the matches. Like, the last 5 minutes or so was good, but like, this could have been a really great triple threat tag team match, but it was just okay. So the Bar retained after a bro kick from Sheamus on Xavier Woods. So that happened. Then I believe, if I say these matches out of order, it's just because it's been a long day. Next was Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. If Corbin won, he was the permanent Raw General Manager. If Braun won, he got his Universal title match against Brock at the Royal Rumble. So, Baron does his heel thing, like, haha, he's injured, and I'm gonna win. Start counting, referee Heath Slater. By the way, Heath Slater is a referee now, but not anymore. I think Braun's music hit at the count of 7, and he came out, his arm was all slinged up, and they're like, oh, how is he gonna do it with just one arm? And then Braun, points out that it's, TLC is no disqualifications, so if he had people come out and help him that are just as upset with Baron as he is. And then that led to Apollo Crews, Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, and Finn Balor coming out. And also Heath Slater turning, taking off his referee shirt and they all started taking shots at Baron Corbin. He slides out of the ring. He's like, "Nah, I'm leaving." And all of a sudden, and Kurt Angle's music hits. I expected Kurt to come out tomorrow night on Raw and kind of like, be like, "Haha, you lost." But no, Kurt was there tonight. He took a couple shots at Baron. They get in the ring. I think Bobby Roode hit some sort of tag team move with Chad Gable. Apollo Crews hit a frog splash. Kurt Angle hit an angle slam. And then Finn hit the coup de grace. And then Braun pinned Baron with his foot. 1, 2, 3. Baron Corbin is no longer Raw General Manager. And Braun gets his match against Brock at the Royal Rumble, which could be interesting. I feel like Braun's probably not going to win because for some reason WWE just doesn't want to pull the trigger. I'm actually interested about the Royal Rumble this year because I feel like Becky Lynch has to win the Women's Royal Rumble, whereas with the men, I can think of 5 or 6 guys right off the bat that could win it and should win it. So it'll be interesting. Anyway, the next match was Ruby Riott versus Natalya in a tables match. This probably was one of the better built matches on the card, honestly, because Ruby Riott's fantastic. First off, I absolutely love Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott's great. She's a great heel. She's great in the ring. She's fantastic on the mic. Everything about Ruby Riott is great. The whole thing with, Jim Neidhart on the table, some people were like, "Ooh, that's controversial," but, it's whatever. Props to Liv Morgan in this match, though. Fuck, she took a hell of a bump. She was standing on the apron, and Natalya hit her with a shoulder block or something, and Liv just launched herself off the apron through a table. She hit hard. Then, later on, Natalya powerbombed. I think it was a powerbomb. She powerbombed Sarah Logan through a table, so now the odds are even. And then Natalya and Ruby went back and forth for about 10 minutes. And then, Ruby does the stupid heel thing where it's like, "Hey, I'm going to go up top and try for a Hurricane Rana or something, or some stupid move." Natalya blocks it and powerbombs Ruby Riott through the table from the top rope. That was a really good spot. The table that Ruby went through actually had a decal of Ruby Riott on it. So, it's like the symbolism. It's like, "Oh, you're going to put me through a table with my dad on it? No, I'll put you through a table with you on it," or something. I think Ruby personally should have won this match. It's not like either of them is gonna, gain or suffer from this. The Riott Squad loses a lot, but Ruby Riott's still great, and she's still over as probably one of the better heels. So yeah, I don't think it really matters all that much. Just personal preference. Next was Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre. I missed a good handful of this match just because I had some things I had to take care of. Ending of the match, very similar to... Well, not very similar, actually. McIntyre was outside the ring. He throws Finn back in. Dolph Ziggler jumps the barricade, super kicks Drew McIntyre. Goes to grab a chair to take a swing at McIntyre, but McIntyre kicks it out of his hand. Throws Dolph in the ring, grabs a chair, and just as he's about to swing on Dolph, Finn hits that wicked shotgun drop kick into the chair, into McIntyre's chest, into the turnbuckle. Finn goes up top, coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor actually wins a match. And a big match, too, because this is only the second time since coming to Raw that Drew McIntyre has lost a singles match. So yeah, that's good for Finn's momentum for sure. They're probably not going to do anything with it. He'll probably, maybe he'll be top 10 for the Royal Rumble match, maybe, but I doubt it. I don't think they'll do that 2 years in a row where he ends top 5 or whatever. The next match was Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton in a chairs match, which, this match was really, yeah, it was okay, I guess. Like, again, it was one of those matches because we've seen Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton before, like all the way back in like 2006, and they had a small rivalry in like 2010. They have good chemistry together, but this match just kind of felt sloppy. I feel like Orton doesn't really care anymore at this point. Like, dude's like, I think he's 40. He's got to be older than 40, though. And then Ray's, in his mid-40s already. So you got two guys in their 40s going at it in a steel chair match. Honestly, not really a whole lot of memorable spots in this match. Like, the ending of the match was kind of cool. Orton was, like, sitting on a chair. And then Mysterio did like a weird Frankensteiner Hurricane Rana roll-up pin thing and got the win. Like I said before, a lot of the matches on this card should have been better than they were. Finn versus Drew was like okay, but I feel like they could put on a much better match if they didn't have Drew destroying Finn and then Finn getting lucky. Then the next match was a surprisingly okay match. No, actually, you know what? No, a surprisingly good match. I'll give it a good match. Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey. I know I probably have these matches out of order, but it's not really a big deal to me anyway. Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. It's weird. First off, I do not like Nia Jax, and it's not just, because people are like, oh, you just don't like her because she's an excellent heel. It's like, no, being a good heel is, creating a storyline for yourself that makes the people want to hate you. Punching the most over superstar in the business in the face, breaking her nose and giving her a concussion, and then calling yourself the face breaker isn't being a good heel. That's just making the best out of a situation that you caused. Like, I guess some people might call that good heel work, but like that was like when they tried to make Paige a great heel by using Charlotte Flair's brother's death as a way to get Paige over with heat. That might be a bit of a stretch, but like, they've never done anything like this before because no one wants to either cheer or boo Nia Jax because people just don't care. Like, personally, I feel like a lot of people just don't care, and that's why they're using, her injuring Becky Lynch as her heat magnet. But it just, no, whatever. Anyway. Ronda is just getting better and better. She has had a couple of iffy matches, but granted, her iffy matches have been against wrestlers who themselves are a bit iffy. Like, her match against Nikki Bella at Evolution was pretty, like, meh. Her SummerSlam match against Alexa Bliss was also pretty meh. Like, I love Alexa Bliss, but like, she's not the best in the ring. But but then she has her match at Survivor Series against Charlotte Flair, and that was a really good match. Her tag team match at WrestleMania was a really good match, like really good, against Stephanie McMahon of all people, which shows that Ronda herself is a good wrestler because Stephanie McMahon's not a fucking wrestler. Tonight's match against Nia was probably Nia's best match on the roster so far. Also, like, anything Nia's done with Sasha Banks is also pretty good because Sasha Banks is, again, one of those people that can just pull a great match out of anybody. Ronda versus Nia was pretty good. The final of the match, the conclusion of the match was, how every Ronda match is, armbar. I hate Ronda's armbar so much. It doesn't make sense to me. I tweeted about this. You can follow me. I'll have my Twitter handle in the description. I just don't understand her armbar. Like, I watched it back. Her armbar is like, she gets her opponent's arm like this, and then she just pulls. But like, that's like a basic stretch. Like, an armbar is supposed to be a hyperextension of the arm and elbow. Like, when you put it like this, and then you're supposed to push up with your hips and pull. That's what causes the armbar to be, an armbar. Anyway, I'm nitpicky when it comes to that kind of stuff because I love UFC and stuff. So, like, watching a former UFC fighter do a weird-ass armbar like that, doesn't make sense. If she did, like, a Kimura lock, it would make more sense. But, like, her armbar isn't a Kimura lock. It's It's like close to being a Kimura, because a Kimura is like you get the arm like this and then you push it up towards the ceiling so like the knuckles are facing upwards. I'm not gonna do that because I don't need to break my own arm. Anyway, next match was probably match of the night. No, not probably. Yeah, definitely match of the night. It was AJ Styles versus the new Daniel Bryan. Another first thing. I do not like the new Daniel Bryan. And again, it's not like Nia Jax where it's like, oh, he's a good heel, that's why you don't like him. No. Daniel Bryan, the new Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan has been boring as shit since he came back. The hype for his return was huge. Like, they're like, oh my god, he's back. Finally. Yes. And he has been so boring. And then they turned him heel. And I'm like, oh, okay, this could be interesting. No. The only time this year turning a mega babyface into a heel has worked is with Johnny Gargano in NXT. Because they gave him an actual reason to turn heel. He attacks Aleister Black because he wants Tommaso Ciampa to himself in the NXT title match. Daniel Bryan turns heel just so he can win the championship with a dick kick. I don't know. I'm not even following why they're like, oh, everything he's told the WWE Universe is a lie. And, you know, he calls everybody fickle and he's vegan and stuff. Like, I don't like it. Like, the antics and shit are stupid as hell. I hated Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar in Survivor Series. A lot of people really liked that match. I didn't. I just thought it was fucking ludicrous. Anyway, this match, though, was really good because Daniel Bryan didn't really fuck around like he did against Brock. Like, Daniel Bryan's a great wrestler, for sure. Like, he is, for sure. And this just, like, they went about 20 minutes, and this was a really, really solid match. There were a few times where I'm like, oh, they're definitely giving the title back to AJ. There was a few times where I'm like, oh, he's getting it back. One thing that WWE does a lot that I hate is they take really good matches, like really solid matches, and then give them shitty finishes. That happened here tonight. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles are going back and forth for like 20-25 minutes. And then as soon as AJ positions himself for the phenomenal forearm, I'm like, oh, fuck, they're going to redo the spot from when Bryan won the championship. And they sort of did. Styles goes for the forearm. Daniel Bryan moves. Styles almost takes out the ref. Bryan goes for the running knee. He misses. AJ rolls him up in a small package. 1, 2, but then Bryan rolls through the small package. 1, 2, 3. And I hate, especially in major championship matches, a fucking roll-up / pin reversal victory is so hollow and so cheap. The one thing that I'm interested about with this is if they're going to continue AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. I don't think they will, but I just can't think of who challenges Bryan next, because Miz has got his weird thing with Shane. Jeff Hardy's got his thing with Samoa Joe. Rey Mysterio just isn't in a position where he should be doing that. So I don't really know of any other major faces on SmackDown that could challenge Bryan next. I assume they might do Rusev, maybe, but Rusev's also got his thing with Nakamura. So it'll be interesting to see. As for AJ, I don't know where AJ goes. I wouldn't be opposed to him going against Nakamura, but I also sort of would be. I'll elaborate more on that. I'm going to be doing a best of and a worst of WWE of 2018. Those will probably be up in the next couple weeks, so keep an eye open for that. If you subscribe, like and subscribe. This video is running really long, so I just kind of want to fly through this next match. Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. Fuck, this match was so... Oh, okay, this was the match that should have been so much better than it was. This match had so much going for it. A great story, great build, 2 really solid wrestlers who have great chemistry together. That's 5 big things that could have made this match work. And this match was boring as hell. like, it wasn't boring as hell. Like, it was just really, I guess dull. I guess dull is the best word. Because, like, there were a couple spots where I'm like, oh, that's cool. But for considering it's Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, it should have been a lot better than it was. Considering what they've produced in the past, when we know they can produce, this match was really, like, lackluster. I love the bickering between Corey Graves and Renee Young on commentary, though, you know, about, you know, how Renee's married to Dean and stuff, and how, you know, she knows more about Dean than anybody and stuff. It's great. I like that. The finish of the match was kind of predictable. Like, you knew, because the whole thing was like, oh, Dean's like, oh, Seth's gonna lose control. He's gonna lose his grip on, like, you know, his sanity, and I'm gonna take that title. And as soon as a heel says that, you're like, oh, fuck, it's game over, right? So Seth goes for, like, some sort of, I think he went for a super kick, and Dean was like, wait, and he put his fist out like the Shield, right? And then Seth's like, no, and he pops Dean, and then he hits him with a super kick, and he goes, I think he was going for the stomp or something. He's, like, facing towards the commentary desk, and he's getting himself all psyched up, and he runs at Dean, and Dean hits him with the dirty deeds, and boom, that's it. Dean Ambrose is Intercontinental Champion. Which, I love the way Dean got his title, like, got the title. The referee hands it to him. Dean's, like, looking dead down the camera like this, the camera like this, and the ref puts the title in his hand, and Dean just stands like this. He doesn't look at the title. He doesn't move. He just stands there like this, or sits there like this. I thought that was great. Anyway, main event of the night. Flippin' hell. The first ever women's TLC match. Charlotte Flair, boo, versus Asuka, yeah, versus Becky Lynch, fuck yeah, for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This match had a lot of really great spots, but it was too short for me. I think the match went on around like 10, and it went off the air around, well, no, I think the entrances started around 10, and the bell actually rang at around 10 after 10, and then they went off the air around 10:50, so that's about a half an hour. But, like, it's a TLC match should go like 40-45 minutes, and I get the stamina can be an issue, but, you know, they made the most of their time. There were a couple of really solid spots. Becky Lynch did a diving leg drop off a huge ladder through the announcer's table. She was trying to take out both Asuka and Charlotte, but she only took out Charlotte. Asuka had a weird powerbomb botch, sort of. Like, the table was set up in the corner, and she powerbombed Charlotte through it, but she only broke, like, the little, like maybe a quarter of the table on the bottom, and that was it. Charlotte hit a fucking crazy, like, spear, breaking the barricade on Asuka. It was crazy. The last, like, 10 minutes of this match was a real clusterfuck, because there were a couple times where I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna give it to Charlotte, or oh shit, Becky's gonna retain. I picked Asuka to win, and she did end up winning. I like the way they did it, though, because Ronda Rousey has beef with Charlotte and Becky. Charlotte more so than Becky, but, you know, it produces better story if you give her two people to have beef with. Because I think Becky needs to win the Women's Royal Rumble and go after Ronda at WrestleMania, and then you can just do Charlotte versus Asuka again at WrestleMania, which I'd be fine with. And have Asuka actually win this time, please. Don't make it a story where it's like, oh, Asuka can't beat Charlotte one-on-one. Like, don't freaking do that. Ever. Don't. Yes, the ending of the match, Charlotte and Becky are both on top of the ladder getting ready to grab for the title. And the crowd starts freaking out, and everyone's like, oh, it's like, I thought, like, maybe it was another horsewoman, or it was Rousey, or it was Nia. It ended up being Rousey, and she comes out, she goes under the ladder, and you're like, oh, who's she going to go after? And she pushes the ladder over completely and knocks down both of them. So they both, you know, do that whole flying off the ladder and then boom, hitting the ropes. And then, you know, they're like, oh, I'll sprawl out. And Asuka climbs the ladder and wins the title. This is huge for Asuka because she's had such a garbage year. Like, people are like, oh, it's weird to give Asuka the title considering how bad of a year she's had. But I think this is actually the best time to do it. It's sort of like with Nakamura, they gave him the U.S. title. I just hope that they treat Asuka's title reign better than they have Nakamura's, because his U.S. title reign has been trash. Again, I might elaborate on that more in my worst of 2018 video. Stay tuned. and subscribe and stuff. So yeah, I know this video isn't as, you know, grandiose or, you know, as energetic as some of my other videos. I'm just really wiped out today. I promise the best and worst of 2018 will be very well made. Again, it'll just be one shot and stuff. I don't have any editing software because I'm broke. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you guys in about 2 weeks for my best and worst of WWE in 2018. And peace.